I want to demo my first public web app. I created this with my sister-in-law in mind. Over the holidays, we met up during family gatherings, and she told me about one of her hobbies, which is baking. And as we were chatting, she mentioned how one of her biggest pain points of baking is the, I guess, pre-production. So before the baking, she has to calculate how much ingredients she needs. But it's not as simple as just going to Google, finding a recipe, and then sticking to that. Because the recipe might call for a birthday cake with 8-inch diameter, but if she needs to scale it down to like a smaller birthday cake, let's say like 4, she needs to change the amount of her ingredients. So I created this is essentially a calculator. I created a calculator so that I can take off some of the mental load of trying to figure out how much ingredients she needs to buy based on her custom cake. So on this UI, you have 2 sliders. One up here, that's for the original cake diameter, maybe whatever your recipe calls for. And then the new recipe, that is your desired diameter. So now, why are the sliders going from 4 to 12? She told me that all her cakes typically are between 4 and 12 inches. And so I created this, I guess you can think of it as like a number continuum from 4 to 12. And they increment 1 at a time. So if you do 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and so on. But it seems when she bakes, they're all in even numbers. And then when you come to the home page, the default value is at 8 because it's easier to travel from the middle to left or right versus if the default value was down here and you have to drag it all the way across to like 10. So 8 to 10 is shorter travel distance from 4 to 10. Anyways, I don't think that really affects the compute or anything. It's just, I thought I'd call it out. And below, based on what you select, you get a verification that says, oh, your original diameter was 8 inches, and then your desired diameter is 4. Then it calculates the scaling factor. Now, how do you scale? If you're not sure, no problem. Come to the left, and you'll see there's this little triangle caret sign. You click on that, and you have a whole explanation. Basically, she told me when she does the calculation, it's volume based. So she takes the volume of the original intended cake on the recipe to the desired cake size. So the original volume was 8. You square that, you get 64. Desired volume is smaller at 4. You square that and you get 16. Now the scaling factor is the new volume divided by the old volume, or the desired volume divided by the base volume. And now you get 0.25. But what do you do with that 0.25? You multiply that 0.25 to all your ingredients. So where do I put my ingredients? Well, there's this text file. It says enter ingredients, 1 per line. And the reason I have it as 1 per line is because on the back end, I have a regex that basically looks for a pattern of number, unit name, and ingredient name. So I have this as an example, and then you can see here, the gray text, it's not actually there, but it gives you an example of how you should input your data. Now, let's go ahead and look at bad input. So we have this, and it's not a birthday cake, it's a lemon pound cake. But we're going to say we want to go from 8 to 4, so that means the scaling will need to go down, which means our ingredients will be less as well. So if I put that here, and let's say you can't see this completely, you do have a scroll bar on the right, or you can come to the corner of this text box and enlarge it like that. So now you see the full ingredients list. You have 1.5 cups butter, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 6 eggs, blah, blah, blah. 1/2 vanilla bean, or 2 teaspoon vanilla extract. This is going to be a bit problematic, and these will be a bit problematic. But let's go ahead and click convert and see what the problem is. You see here, you get an error message that says could not parse line. And that is because my regex, again, is scanning for the pattern of an integer, a measurement name, cups, teaspoon, fluid ounces, whatever. And then like a food item, butter, salt, eggs, vanilla extract, things like that. Now it does multiply correctly, so let's just do eggs, that's easier. 6 eggs times 0.25 and you get 1.5 egg. Now, what would be a good, sorry, let me keep explaining why maybe this is problematic and these are problematic. You see here, it has 2 types of measurement. You've got the metric of 250 grams of whole milk or 1 cup. I'm assuming this is 1 cup. Now, it doesn't know that it's two of the same, I guess, measurements. So stick with one measurement. Let's go with grams. Like that. And then to fix this problem, you need to act as if these are 2 separate entities. You have half vanilla bean. I don't know, is that half bag, half box? I don't actually know. And then the or, we'll take out or. And 2 teaspoons pure vanilla extract. Now that would be better. So the clean input would look like something like this. And the other thing is I would recommend that you stick to decimal. Okay, let me show you the results. Now you get no error message and you get, yeah, better conversion. Like same conversion, but just better UI. Now, what is the problem with fraction? If I did, let's say, 1/1/2, right? This is not a scientific number. Doesn't mean think like 1/2 cups of butter, like a singular half cup of butter, or is it 1.5 cups of butter? So it's best if you just stick with decimals. And if you do that, then you'll see, oh, come back. At the very least, doing a gut check, you'll see that if we went from a bigger cake to a smaller cake, ingredients need to be less. And you see, okay, 1.5 cups of butter became 0.38 cups, or cup, singular. And so yeah, that's essentially it. And then if you still are not sure about how the scaling factor looks, I have the explanations in depth here as well as an example. So yeah, I'll leave this app in the link description box, and then I'll also leave my source code there if you want to play around with it.